And even if you're not thinking about it, it may have bothered you in the past. You may have come across a time where you feel like you were comparing yourself. Like, how do you discover like who you really are without comparing yourself to everyone else? So a question was posed to me today, and it was asking about mastery, like self-mastery. Like, how do I master myself and not compare myself with others? And it's a question that everyone should be thinking about, this particular question, and that's what we want to talk about today.
My name is Andrew E. Guy. I work with high-achieving individuals to help them set boundaries so they can protect the things that are most important to them, so they don't have to sacrifice self-chasing after success. In other words, I help you to find a clarity so you can lead your life.
So we're talking about the techniques that you need to use in order to have this self-discovery, so discover who you really are without comparing yourself to everyone else. Now, number one, you're trying to figure life out. What does it mean? I'm trying to figure my life out without comparing with anyone else. The first thing you need to understand is that you really don't figure life out, okay? That's the reverse. You don't figure life out. You figure life within, because life is a gift in a package, wrapped up in a package. And your goal is to open that gift. Your goal is to open the gift. And once you open the gift, then you will discover who or what's inside. I want you to imagine it was Christmas or Christmas Eve, and everyone is getting ready to do their Christmas biddings, and they went out and they got all the gifts and everything, and they wrapped them up, and the names and tags are on there. Everybody's excited, and they're gonna put them underneath the tree, right? So they put them underneath the tree, and it's Christmas morning now. Everyone got up, everyone is excited. They go, what did I do?
The series is brought to you by none other than www.exceltowellness.com. Now, Excel to Wellness, they are the one that's sending me all of this amazing gear. Thank you for the hoodie, thank you for the ball cap, and there's some other things, some t-shirts and all the other things that they've sent. Thank you for sponsoring our videos as we move forward into the future. We're going to be rocking Excel to Wellness all the way through. Whether it's a hoodie, whether it's a ball cap, whether it's a t-shirt, I want to encourage you. I'm going to put the link in the description. Go out there and check out exceltowellness.com.
That's the question you should be asking yourself. What did I get? Okay. Who am I? And how do I find out? So in order for you to find out what you got for Christmas, what would you do? You would locate your name, first of all. You locate your name on the present that's underneath the tree, and then you accept it. Okay, let me break that down. A lot of people really don't really know who they are because they're answering to the wrong name. They're answering to names of ignorance, right? A lot of people will respond to racial slur. Then, you can't do math, or you cannot be successful. Then you don't speak proper English. Don't allow or answer to a name that is not yours, okay? If you're looking for a name, go to Psalms 139 verse 14. It said that I am fearfully and wonderfully made, and marvelous are his work. And here's the kicker. Here's the best part. My soul knows this. Like, deep down in your soul, you know who you are. But because we've been listening to the wrong voices, we've been listening to society, and society tells us that you're no good, or you come from the ghetto, or your parents were poor, so you should not amount to be anything. There's so many different racial slurs that we listen to. And here's the crazy part. I need you to stop. Stop. If that's not your name, don't answer. Pretend as if you were attending a seminar like this one right now. And your name is Richard, and someone called you Bob. Are you going to answer? The answer is no. Do not answer to names that are not you and that does not represent you. Perfect example. Let's say, for example, you are trying to buy a Porsche 911. You would not go to a Ford dealer. You would not go to a Toyota dealer. You would not go to a Nissan dealer. You would go to you go to a Porsche dealer because that's the name of the manufacturer. What am I trying to get you to understand? That if someone calls you by another name that is not yours, do not answer. Okay? The first part in understanding, mastering who you are, is to answer to your name. Okay? Answer to the name that was given to you. Do not answer to any other name. Does that make sense? Let's jump back to the Christmas present metaphor. So, your parents, let's say you're a child and or husband, doesn't matter. The person who is taking the presents underneath the tree and they're disseminating them, they're handing them out. So they go underneath the tree and a whole bunch of presents are there and everybody's excited, like, whoa, whoa, excited. Let me calm down for a minute, right? I'm excited. It's Christmas. I'm going to be excited anyway. Hey, forget about it. I'm just going to be excited. So everyone is disseminating the presents and everybody's giving out. But wait a minute. Before you can get your present, you got to check the name tag. Exactly. So you go and you check the name tag and you say, this one says Bobby. Hey, Bobby, you in the room? Hey, I'm over here. I'm over here. Robert, are you over here? I'm over here. I'm over here. Donovan, are you over here? By the way, Donovan is a Jamaican, right? Say, yeah, I'm there. Present. Big up, right? So Donovan comes up and Donovan gets his present. We would not give Bob's present to Donovan, neither would we give Donovan's present to Bob. The person whose name is on the present goes to that person. They are the owner. Does that make sense? I'm trying to get you to understand that if that's not your name, you don't answer to something that's not your name. It's not your name. So first thing in mastering self is to make sure that you are answering to your name. Find your name, discover your name, and only answer to that name. Does that make sense? If that's not your name, I don't care how many other racial slurs that are out there. Do not answer to a name that does not represent you. Does that make sense? Otherwise, you will not identify your present that is under the tree. Clear? Answer to your name. Got it. The next thing that you need to understand is who you are. The who you are is the essence of why you were created. Okay? Your name identifies you, but the who you are is the essence of why you were created. Okay? The who you were created in his image, in the creator's image. Okay, I'm going to go back to the automobile description again. Here it is. We know Ford because who was the creator of and the inventor of Ford? I hear you. Henry Ford, right? So Ford is named after Henry, all right? So you are created in the image of your creator. Go look it up in the word. That's what the manual said. You're created in his image. In his image, he created ye male and female. Okay? So you were created by your creator. So if you want to find your identity, you want to go back to the manufacturer to find out who you are. If you want to find out who made the Ford, you go back and check out the history of Henry Ford and how he made the T model Ford, and then he just took off from there. Does that make sense? So number one, you want to make sure you answer to the right name or you will get the right present from underneath the tree. And the next part, you want to make sure you know who your manufacturer is. You are identified by your manufacturer. Is that clear? Okay. The next thing that you need to do, we're talking about mastering self here now. The next thing we need to do is I'm going to use an anatomical metaphor to explain to you. A lot of people get caught up in the crowd and they miss who they are. They completely lose who they are. They completely are misguided by everyone else that's happening or things that are happening in the crowd. Here's what I mean by that. I want you to think of the crowd as a fist. Does that make sense? There you go. Make a fist. You are the fighter. You are Muhammad Ali. You are Mike Tyson. You're the fighter, man. And you made a fist. What is the purpose of making the fists? Okay? We're talking about your self-mastery, understanding who you are, and don't compare yourself to the crowd. The crowd is the fist, but let's break down the fist for a minute. The fist is made of pinky, ring finger, middle finger, index finger, and a thumb. We call those phalanges, right? You have 5 phalanges. You have 4 finger, 1 thumb, 5 phalanges, right? The anatomical description for what they are. Now, their functions are to grip, to hold, to help, to assist. That's what their functions are. So if you want to know who you are, you go back to the manufacturer, and you also need to find out your function. Okay, remember I said your fist is just like the crowd. They come together. You need to understand the purpose of why the fingers or the phalanges come together to make a fist. They come together because of a purpose. They come together because I'm trying to grip something. They come together because I'm trying to hold my book. They come together when I was writing my book. I had a pen and I was writing for like hours. I was on the keyboard typing. They come together because of a purpose. As a matter of fact, speaking of which, if you're looking for a book that's going to help you with your spirituality and understanding who you are, your identity, go and check out this book right here. It's called The Anatomy of the Kingdom and the Power of Community. Exchanging religion for life of purpose and function. All right? We're talking right now about finding your purpose and understanding who you are. Proper identification. All right? So remember we said that there were 5 phalanges, 4 fingers, 1 thumb. But let's dig a little deeper. Okay? On each of these digits is a print. You are that person. You are just like the print that's on each of these fingers. Hence, you come together for a purpose. So you can make a fist, so you can pack a punch and impact somebody's life. Well, if you got into a fight, that would be a negative impact, right? But there's still a positivity in there. If you've been bullied by somebody and you made a fist and impact that person's life, and of course, then everything changes from that. Hence goes the bully goes down. So the finger, the picture I'm trying to get you to understand is that the fingers, they come together because of a purpose. When they're in the crowd, when they made a fist, the pinky fails to be the pinky. The pinky is now a fist. The ring, the middle, the index finger, the thumb, all of them, they have traded their personal identity for a function in the community. Let me say that again. They have traded their sense of self and personal identity to be identified as a group, as a fist. And I want you to get that. Now, individually, when you're giving a high five, they each go their separate ways. Look at that. They go into different direction. Pinky, ring, middle, index, thumb. They all go their separate direction. But watch when it's time for them to make a fist. They all are on one accord. They are no longer a finger. They are combined to come to be a fist. Does that make sense? Now, the question that you're asking me is, well, why am I comparing myself to other people? It's because you're lost in the crowd. You're in the fist, but you're still thinking, why am I here? You're looking at everyone else, and you forgot that you are a pinky, and you assembled to assist to carry out a function. If you're in the crowd and you don't know who you are, it's because you do not know your function. Hence, you are lost because you don't have a function and a direction. The pinky, it doesn't matter if it was going at a 45 degree. When I bring that pinky in and close the gap, I'm now making a fist. It is doing the exact same thing that every other phalanges is doing because it now has traded the sense of individuality so it can become part of a group. And the group comes together or assemble. The group doesn't attend. The group assemble because the group is now doing what? It has a purpose and a function in mind. Okay? So when you think about this self-mastery and understanding who you are, you got to first answer to the right name. Second of all, you have to have the right identity, knowing that even though you might be among a group, you're still an individual, but you've traded your individual self for a function of a fist, so you can accomplish a task, a purposeful task. Does that make sense? All right? If this is helping you, I need you to go and subscribe. Subscribe to me, to this video. Share this video with someone. Save this video. Okay? So you can get more teachings like this that's going to help you understand who you are. So you can develop proper identity so you don't get lost in the crowd. What do I do? If you're visiting me for the first time, I'm Andrew E. Guy. I'm a work-life enrichment coach and consultant. And I work with high professionals. And why I'm working with them is to help them to find clarity and meaning so they can develop a radically resilient work life. What is a radically resilient work life, you ask me? Well, it's one that doesn't compare themselves with other people. It's one of them who knows exactly what they're doing, why they're doing it. They have meaning for what they do. That's a radical person. A radical person is one that doesn't follow the crowd. A radical person is one who knows who they are. They can become part of the crowd, but they still hold their identity. Does that make sense? A lot of us, we get into jobs and we forget who we are. Okay? We become tattletellers. We become the people who just sit and yap and talk about other people instead of talking about ideas. Many workplaces fail because people don't talk about ideas anymore. They talk about people. Losers talk about people. Champions talk about ideas and how they can change the world. Okay? So you need to understand that. This is what I'm trying to get you to understand. If you master self and you understand you and you know your identity, it doesn't matter what crowd you are in. You still come back out as that individual person with the correct print, the correct identity. The print, the fingerprint is your identity. Oh my goodness, I'm getting too excited. I need to calm down. So the print represents who you are among the crowd. The index finger, let me backtrack for a minute. When you travel to different countries, especially in the United States, I've lived in the United States for many years. And when I'm traveling, if I'm coming back to Canada, which I am right now, when I'm traveling back and forth, when I was going to school in the United States as an international student, I have to do fingerprints. Have you ever wondered why they do all four of these guys together and then they do this one differently? It's because if I do all four of these together and I fail to do this one, then that's not even a human being. Because that person's digital assets are not complete. They have four fingers. Well, does the person have a thumb? This is why you need all five appendages copied, because each of these digits has a different print. Your digits are completely different from the other 8 point something billion people who are on planet Earth. So everyone has a different print, and every hand has a different print. Each digit is different. And so are you. You are not like anyone else. There is no carbon copy of you out there. There is no other coming back like you. You are you. You are an individual. You are a finger. You are a print. You are a finger in the fist. You are an individual in the crowd. And when you leave the crowd, you should remember that you're an individual. You should go back to being that individual. A lot of us, we get into the crowd and then we lose our sense of self. We started picking up bad habits, bad behavior. Let's say, for example, you start hanging out with the wrong crowd. Scripture did say that what? Corrupt communication, right? Or evil communication, corrupt good character. So don't tell me you're just going to hang around with a certain people and you're still going to remain yourself. Yes, you can if you have the courage, understand who you are, have the right identity. Sure, you can do that. You can go into any crowd, make a fist, and then come back out. Only reason you go there and you make that fist is because your purpose and your goal align with everyone else who's going to make the fist. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? gosh, this is good. This is helping me. Say with me, this is helping me. Say with me, this is helping me. And if it's helping you, I need you to subscribe. Share this with all your family members and tell them to subscribe to this channel, because Andrew E. Guy is not talking fluff. He's bringing the stuff that's going to help you to transform your life, where you live, where you work, and where you play, and where you leisure. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm here to drop this nugget right now. Okay? Here's what you need to understand. It doesn't matter where you go. Understand who you are. Doesn't matter what crowd you're in. When you leave, you go back to being those individual finger with the individual prints on them. You have retained your identity. You're not corrupt. Okay? Doesn't matter what's going on around you. You still remain your sense of self. I'm excited about this. Okay, I'm also going to be launching a workshop, and I want you to go to andrewguyspeaks.com, and I want you to click on workshops, coaching, and then click on the link, boom, and it will lead you right there. And I'll also put the link in the description below where you can get access to that course, free course, just for you, to help you out. My way of saying thank you for subscribing to the channel, for getting the help that you need. Okay, I want to give you more resource. This year, I'm going to be very active online, because I've been traveling and doing talks and so forth. I was teaching, I was in the classroom. Now, listen, it's time for us to get this information out to you. I want you to understand who you are. Check this book out, The Anatomy of the Kingdom and the Power of Community. Remember, it doesn't matter how great you are. It doesn't matter how powerful you are. It doesn't matter how much you know. It means squat if you are not using it in a community. I want you to join my tribe. I want you to join my tribe so we can function in a community and impact the world. That's what we want to do. Coming up, we're going to be launching our own platform called Greatest Impact University. I'm getting excited. I need to calm down. But while we're here right now, I need you to go ahead and pick up a copy of this book. Go to andrewguyspeaks.com and pick up a copy of this other book. It's called Work Your Words, Finding Your Pathway to Personal Success. Great book, by the way. Both of them are great. And my new book that's coming out called what? Win Where You Are. Stop waiting to become. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, this is our time. I'm excited about what we talked about today. There's going to be a follow-up to this video. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments below. If you are struggling with anything work-life related, please put it in the comments. Reach out. Let me know, what videos do you want me to do that helps you with your personal development and your journey, your work-life journey? What questions do you have? If there's specific videos that you want me to break down, give you information on, please put it in the description, in the comments below, and I will take a look at it. I will check it, and I will make sure that I give you a shout out when I'm doing those videos. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your support.
My name is Andrew E. Guy. I work with High Performance Professional. If you're interested in working with me, go to andrewguyspeaks.com. And if you want a free gift, click on the link in the description, and I will send you out the free Resiliency Executive Roadmap. It is amazing. You can start there so you can become one of those individuals that get a 30-minute free coaching session with moi, and then we help you get some clarity so you can start winning where you are. Thank you so much for joining. If you have not, if you're not a fam, if you're not a tribe, subscribe, because when you subscribe, you become a tribe, and then you become a fam. And that's exactly what I want you to become. Listen, remember, win where you are. Don't wait to become.